I am gaming. I am gaming. I am gaming podcast.
Hey everybody, my name is Ivica. Thank you so much for being on the latest episode of I'm Gaming Podcast. This is a podcast about the video game industry, entrepreneurship, gaming nostalgia, and many more cool things I find to be in the same realm of business and creative ventures. Like always, a huge thanks goes to my Patreon supporters who really make this podcast possible. Without you, I wouldn't be able to make these episodes, and I'm Gaming Podcast would have not hit this as it's 147 episode, so a big thanks to all of you. Please, everyone else, check out my Patreon supporters and all of their cool ventures in the description below. And if you'd like to support me as well, please consider that too. This episode is going to be about the business mentality and business ideas that many of us obsess over, even though we know that there are some failings or big issues that are present in those ideas, but we still can't stop thinking about them. In Serbia, or at least the Republic of Serbia and our basically Europe, actually, to say it like that, a big business idea presently is renewable energy. The war in Ukraine, the Russian invasion of Ukraine, of course, triggered a massive energy crisis that was created on the back of a present energy crisis in 2021, culminating in a problem that is basically global, and we all now understand that there's a big lack of energy and big lack of energy supply security, which is why a lot of people are considering and thinking about renewable energy businesses. More particularly, or more precisely, that idea is the idea of investing or entering the domain of solar energy generation. When it comes to creating energy in a renewable fashion, solar is basically the easiest thing you can have. So Serbia presently has some regulations that allows individual households that are built in a singular object, so it's a house, not a building with multiple tenants, just a single house, to install solar panels and produce energy back into the grid for the purpose of lowering their bills. There's a big initiative taking place right now related to that. But there are other abilities to create renewable energy from solar, from the solar panels, which are kind of developing itself or themselves as a business concept. That includes small solar electric plants where you basically have anything over 50 kilowatts is a small producer of energy. Presently, that investment in Serbia is around 50,000 euros. So you need to lease to have 50,000 euros, not to mention the land where you're going to build it and everything else, to get this business started. Now, that's a lot of money, of course, but it's not an impossible sum. For example, creating only a single turbine for wind generation would be much, much more expensive, several times at least as expensive just to get it started. And the turbine itself is probably around ballpark 1 million euros, so it's, like I said, really expensive option. Solar isn't that expensive. However, there is a bunch of issues related to the same process, especially when you frame it as a business. On one side, no, it's completely awesome for people to think to invest into renewable sources because it's a good thing for our country, for our planet, for everyone involved, because it generates clean energy and does it in a sustainable manner. However, even though it's good and well on a social standpoint, it can still be a terrible investment that ends up losing people their money. And that's the biggest problem of these obsessions over obvious business ideas, and there are many of these, but solar is a good example in my view presently in Serbia, because it's solid long term. We need more energy, we need that energy to come from the sun or any other renewable source, but it's not sustainable if your business is going to go bankrupt in a year or two, and the same plant stops working or gets into some kind of other issue, not because there is no more sun and your solar panels are not working, but because your business went under and you don't have a contract standing with the same national supplier of electric energy that's buying your electricity. You won't be able to send it into the grid for free, basically because of administrative issues. That is a big element to any of these obvious business ideas, that we all keep obsessing about. So the way out is to actually, in my view, understand that we're interested, or any one of us is interested in a particular branch, but to clearly and easily define those benchmarks that are accessible and those that are not. There are ways to invest into solar without having the ability or need to create a small solar plant that will cost you 60,000-70,000 euros, which you might have, for example, from your allowance, from your savings, from credits, from inheritance or whatnot, but it can still be a catastrophically bad investment that stops working and doesn't give the planet back anything. Other means of investing in solar are there as well, but they need to be examined and assessed as any other business venture with its flaws and potential benefits, not because it's good for the environment, or more precisely, not because it's trendy right now. It's great to kind of be able to follow trends because a lot of profit is there to be made. It's especially important to be environmentally conscious, use your potential to help the environment around us and thus our future, but there are means to do it that will not give anything either to you or the planet. So it's important to differentiate those, otherwise you won't just waste your money, you waste the opportunity to actually do something meaningful as well. So that would be my kind of, let's say, overview of those obsessions. It's great if you can build a sustainable solar plant in Serbia right now, but chances are that you can't. So double check, reconsider the same possibility. And if you decide, hey, it's still a big chance that I'm going to lose a lot of my money, there are other options to invest into solar, and these need to be explored and pursued instead of simply throwing away a bunch of money and not giving back anything to the environment, which is a possibility, sadly, even though it would be a much better world if that wasn't possible at all. So that's all for my episode 147. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for giving me the time of the day. Especially thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Again, you make this podcast possible, and that's amazing. So thank you so much for your regular monthly pledges. Everyone else, if you'd like to support me, the link to my Patreon page is in the description below, but there are also other ways and other means how you can support me. The easiest is to simply subscribe to my channel, leave a like, leave a comment, and buy my books on Amazon, for example, or send me some cash through PayPal or through crypto or a bunch of other means. But hey, if you really want to support me and help me out quickly and easily, just subscribe and that's it. Again, thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day. I'll see you on episode 148 in precisely 7 days from now. Until then, bye bye.